because it's only 15 minutes. Okay, when we divide the same base, what do? Subtract. Write this down. Quit staring at me. Okay, help formalize it. The law of zero we just looked at. What's 6 exponent 0? 1. Good. What's the next one? Wrong. Because only the x has the exponent 0. Hello. So this equals 4 times 1. Only x0 equals 1. So this equals 4. All right, keeping that in mind, try this one right here. Go for it. Watch your base. Everything inside here belongs to the exponent 0. So everything inside equals 1. And this equals 1. So 1 plus 1, the answer is 2. Aha! See, getting tricky. Got to pay attention. Any questions with that? Going to the next one, negative exponents. So again, if we have a negative exponent, we just reviewed this. You flip it out. So you flip it into a fraction. If you have a fraction, so for example, 1 over 3 to the negative 2, then you flip it out of the fraction. And only the base with the negative exponent moves. So x6 stays where it is. It doesn't move. Y to the 4 goes to the bottom, and 4 becomes positive. So y negative 4 becomes positive, and move it down below. What do we have to do with the w? Has to go up top, and now we have a positive 5 exponent. What's our last step? The negative sign on the brackets, right? No brackets are allowed in final answers. So this is an odd exponent. So is our final answer going to be negative or positive? Negative. So we move it out of the brackets and we'll go up front with it. So it doesn't look like a subtraction. Negative x6 w5 over y4. Okay, that is your final answer. Okay. So these are all simple ideas, but combined together makes them a bit more challenging. So let's go over some of this. Simplify without using a calculator. Number 1. What do we do with this negative exponent? Turn it into a fraction. So it's the flipping rule. Then what? Evaluate. 7 squared is 49. Done. That's our answer. Try the next one. Go. Okay, so first of all, we turn into a fraction. Then we have the exponent 2. So the middle step that is really important to understand is that equals 1 over positive 8 squared. Okay, so again, we're going to letters. Write this down if you don't have it written down. Okay, you need to know that an even exponent is going to give you a positive answer. And then 1 over 64. So don't just go, oh, it's 1 over 64. Think about why. Why is it positive? It's because the exponent is even. Okay, next one, number 3. Go for it. Okay, so flip it out of the fraction and then evaluate. Okay, number 4. So number 4, now we have a fraction. Any ideas what happens with a fraction when you have a negative exponent? Well, up top, we didn't have brackets. So here we had a fraction, but there's no brackets. So the negative sign only applied to the single base. Here, it's around the brackets, so it applies to everything inside. So in this case, everything flips. Okay, everything flips. Now, you have an odd exponent. So what kind of final answer are you going to have? Negative times the negative times the negative, which is negative answer. So when you drop your brackets, you keep your negative sign. Good. On 1 times 3 up top, 1 times 3 on the bottom. Don't think that it just happens by magic. Know what's happening. So in your head, you better darn well be saying what I just highlighted. If you're not saying that in your head, you are not going to know what to do with the letters. And last step then is to evaluate. So negative 27 over 1,000. Okay. Any questions? Is that in lowest terms? Yeah. So you can also check for lowest terms right here. Right? So if you had 10 over 4, you could reduce that right there. Now, let me just write this down on top. This is kind of an important part. Exponent rules can be done in any order. If done correctly. Okay. So if you're going along and you're stuck, what could you do? Go back, start again. Try a different rule first. Okay, try a different rule first. Okay, here we go. So I always find it's easiest to fix your negatives first. So we have a negative 2, let's fix that. What is that going to become? Now you'll notice that when we flipped it, we did not change the negative 3. We flipped it to change the negative 2. So we have x negative 3, even though it's on the bottom, it must stay that way because we flipped it because of the negative 2. Now let's get rid of our brackets and multiply in. So we drop our brackets, we multiply all the exponents. And because this is an even exponent, will we have a positive or negative final answer? Positive. If you want to write a plus sign, great. Help yourself see it. If you don't, that's okay. It's still positive. All right. So what's the exponent on the 4? Or what's the work on the 4? 1 times 2. There's a 1 exponent. What's the work on the x? Negative 3 times 2. What's the work on the y? 1 times 2 again. Okay. So then, write your answer below. So we had 4 squared, x negative 6, y 2. So evaluate the 4 squared and move the x up top to fix the negative 6. So we get x6 up top, 16 y squared. Okay. Tough question. Yes, the good place to start would be fixing your negative 4 exponent. How do we do that? Flip everything inside the brackets. So only the 4 changes to a positive. The 5 exponent stays negative even though it goes down below. That's because it goes down below due to the negative 4. Okay, multiply in. Take your outside 4 exponent, multiply in. What's up top, Trevor? Good. What's down below? Anyone? 2 exponent 4, Emerson? x exponent? Negative 20. Okay. Okay, so only two things left to do now. We have to evaluate 2 exponent 4 and fix the negative 20. Go ahead, fix those two things. Go. Okay, so fixing those two things, we get y exponent 8, x exponent 20. Doesn't matter which order you put it in. I like alphabetical. And 2 exponent 4 is 16. Done. Okay. Questions, comments, concerns? Yep. No, because the y8 has positive 8. Okay, the x is a negative, so only the x switches. Sorry, the negative 20. Okay. Yes, I got that right here. Next one's a little bit of a weird one. What we can do is start by multiplying in. Let's multiply these two together. Go for it. What do we do when we multiply the same base? Add your exponents. So negative 1 plus negative 2. And you're going to get 4 exponent 2 negative 3. Okay. So I like to try and fix my inside the brackets if I can, simplify it a bit. Now you have to fix this. Multiply that negative 1 inside. So it's negative 3 times negative 1. And we had 4 times 2 exponent positive 3. Okay, so sometimes simplifying inside the fractions can make things a little bit simpler for you. And then 4 times 8, which equals 32. Questions, comments, or concerns? Could you do it in a different order? Yep. Yes, you can. We have negative 3 times negative 1. That's why. Okay. So now we're applying your exponent rules, your fraction ideas, as well as integers with multiplying and negatives, right? You gotta know what you're doing. Okay. Okay, number 8. What's the base here? And what's the base there? What operation are we doing in the middle? What do we do when we divide the same base? Subtract your exponents. Show me. Okay. Show me the work up top. Let's go. So it's negative 2 minus negative 4. What does that equal? Nope. It's negative 2 plus 4. So it equals positive 2. Now, multiply in. So get rid of those outside brackets, multiply in. So it's 2 cubed, 2 times negative 2, 2 cubed, all to the exponent, negative 4. Okay. Covered a lot there. Any questions? And then multiply in. Dude, what's 2 exponent 4? Oh, yeah. 2 is 4 times 2 is 8 times 2 is 16. Reason. So I like to change this to 16 over positive 3 over 4. And then I do my facelift on the bottom. So what's the exponent that I'm looking for right here? Well, I want to cancel with the 4. You're thinking of the base. So exponent 4, that gives me base of 2. Okay. So then when I multiply in, 4 times 3 over 4, the 4's cancel, and I'm left with 1 over 2 cubed, which equals what? 1 over 8. Okay, so we're just applying our negative ideas with what we did yesterday. The big first step is usually you flip it first. usually. Okay. Okay, so this question is similar to one up above. First of all, you want to flip it to get it out of the negative. So 1 over 16, 3 over 2. Then 1 over facelift time. Whoops, I screwed that up. I'm looking for 2 exponents, so base of 4. So that equals 1 over 4. 2 times 3 over 2 equals 1 over 4 cubed equals 1 over 64. Okay. Hands up if you got that. Good. That's pretty good. Okay, next one. So next one, negative exponent. How are we going to fix that? Flip the fraction. Okay. Now it's just like what we did yesterday. You want to do facelifts, top and bottom. Okay. So we're looking at the denominator of 2. So we're looking for exponents of 2. So that'd be 4 up top, 3 on the bottom. Multiply in 2 times 3 over 2. Things cancel. And then evaluate once you get simple exponents. What'd you get, Trevor? 64. Brilliant. Genius. Well done. Okay. 64 over 27. Any questions with that one? All right. Okay, try next one. Go for it. Okay, so this one's a little tricky. You must keep brackets around the negative base. All right, really important because at the end now, my exponent is even. So what kind of final answer am I going to get? Positive. So it's going to be positive 81. Okay, and if you don't keep the brackets, if you get this, that equals negative 81. Right? So that's why you got to be super duper careful. Without brackets, you'll get a different answer. Okay. No, it's not. That's wrong. Okay. Wrong. Okay. So without it, then you get the wrong answer. All right. So next one here, a couple different things. Ooh. What are your thoughts right away? And yet, what looks weird? It's hard. Yep, for sure. What looks different than we've seen before? Yeah, you got the exponents there already, right? But let's fix this negative sign first and then have a look again at what we have. Go ahead, fix that outside negative sign. Now that we fixed it, is this 2 cubed, that 3 going to be a problem? No. What about this 8 squared, the 2? Is that going to be a problem? Yeah. Oh, yeah. So obviously something needs to happen there. So let's evaluate it. Okay, what does 8 squared equal? 64. Okay. 2 cubed, we're not going to change because we said there's nothing wrong with it. But now let's try giving 64 a facelift, because we can do that, can't we? What is it? 4. 4 cubed is 64. Go ahead, finish it. Go. So what does that equal? Final answer equals 4. Now, do you think there's another way to do it? Absolutely is. So let's say we evaluated both of them. So let's say from right here, we went 8 squared is 64 over 8. So then what's 64 divided by 8? 8. So we could, if we'd seen it, we could have simplified earlier. Okay, and then we could have went, oh, that's 2 cubed times 2 cubed, etc., etc. Okay, so you can do things in different orders. Let's have a look at the next one. So the difference here is you should go and probably evaluate both of them. But the big thing I'm just going to show you, then we're going to stop, is turn this into a fraction. So negative 0.75 equals negative 75 over 100. And then in lowest terms, negative 3 over 4. Okay? And so then you could probably do a facelift and turn this into 2 exponent 4. Right? So as soon as you turn that into a fraction, you could go and work on it. Okay, go ahead, solve this yourself. Finish it. Okay, we're not going to do this last one. Any questions with number 5?